Shepherd's queen at the sight, yeah, glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior
to surprise me. So she didn't call. She went searching all about, but can't find a link at all. She tell me I want a link, I want a link, I want a link. I can't do it all, darling. A link makes me happy, a link drives me crazy. A link for my Christmas, a link is so gorgeous. Yeah, she tell me I want a link, I want a link, I want a link. I can't do it all, darling.
Chat room, and my name is Lima Dunbar. On the ones and twos, we've got DJ Kevorkian, and producing the show this morning, of course, DJ Code Red in the back there. I don't think they could see a code. Yes, they can. So it is Christmas Eve. I think this is the first time in a long, long time we've done a Christmas Eve show. No? Yeah. First time in a couple of years we've done a Christmas Eve show, and it was important to do this show for the main reason because we have Maestro Steel Pannist and Professor Teague, and he's got a break during classes, so this was the opportune time, so we took advantage of it. We're going to hear that interview later on today because it is pre-recorded because of such a tight schedule. But guess what? On the show today also we've got Pannist and producer Mr. Kyle Noel of Black Carpet Movement. And we're going to hear some of the Christmas songs that he has. I think it was dropped a week ago. So we're going to hear some of that today as well as have a conversation with Kyle. And then we're going to have a conversation with Chuck Gordon, aka Chucky. And he's got some new music as well as some Christmas music. So we'll be talking about the new music that he has and, you know, whatever else is going on in the world of Mr. Chuck Gordon.
Chucky from Soca?
No, he from, I don't know, you know. No, he from up north.
Oh,
yeah, he's a north boy.
Okay.
East. But yeah, he's I think he's from up in the east, but we'll find out for sure when he comes on.
Okay.
So here now, it's a cold day here in Central Florida.
Cold as we call it.
Last night. Oh my gosh! But you know what? For the people that had to stand out in it, I'm sure it was freezing cold. But for us who had the opportunity and the option of being indoors, I didn't really feel it that much. But I know it was cold. It was 20-something degrees. By this morning, it was 26. And it's supposed to go back down again tonight to pretty much almost the same area.
You know, we complaining, but New York have 9 and 10 degrees.
They can keep that. They can keep it. No.
I don't know. I don't know.
So we were supposed to have our contributor, Mr. Kevin Amoroso, but schedules are a little bit mixed up. So
Kevin buying gifts.
Yeah, he's all buying gifts.
He's buying gifts, spending money.
That's who we have.
I know what I want.
Okay, let's see who we could have say good morning to today. As well as we're gonna have Phyllis Worrell. She's our other contributor. She's gonna be on in about 10 or 15 minutes. Good morning, Olade.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I don't know who the other people are. Code, can you tell who they are? Because it's only showing up as 5 others.
Put your glasses on.
I have my glasses on at the top of my head.
On the top of your head. That
Yes.
is not on.
That's on.
You're wearing my
So-
shades.
What?
You're wearing my shades.
Yeah.
Clear shades.
Well, I got a listener.
I
You know,
understand.
the little ego that's kicking every now and then. The little ego that's kicking every now and then.
Okay.
But you know, it's a Christmas thing. The top of the hour was a song that I did with Pastor Easton Goulburn. So it was a duet from a couple years ago. So that was our gospel/Christmas song for today. And let me just turn you back over to DJ Kevorkian while we wait for Miss Phyllis Worrell to climb into the waiting room.
Is that you? Can't believe that it's you. So long may you see her. Give me a wine now. Give me a wine now. Give me the wine that I want. Long time. So long may you see her. Give me a wine now. Give me a wine now. And then we make up for all this time. Make up for all this time. Hey, look who. You know how long me already see you. It could have been about a year or two. All to drink now, what we go do? Hey, long time. Been a while we have us a line. Nothing that changed 'cause you still look fine. Look how you looking fine. I thought you hiding. I thought you went foreign. Look how things happen now. Look how things happen now. So let me hug up and squeeze you. I don't even want to leave you. I don't know when we bounce up again. So let me take a little thing until then. So long may you see you. Give me a wine now. Give me a wine now. Give me the wine that I want. Long time. So long may you see you. Give me a wine now. Give me a wine now. And then we make up for all this time. Make up for all this time.
I'm not leaving, that's impossible to do. 'Cause if you want me to go, you can be looking the way you do. You can be cooking the way you do. You can be hooking me. If you want me to go, you can be looking the way you do. You can be walking the way you do. Because you're hooking me. Come on. I don't know what to do, so I'm bleeding. Plus you ain't give me no reason. You tell me this the end of we season. Mash up we think dress so. But you don't understand when you watch me. I said that's me that I win the lottery. How you go pick up dress so and then dump me
loving me?
What? This song. must come before blessings, but we have to be patient, yeah. Weeping and mourning in the night, but joy in the morning. But we just have to endure. You see, God, the when the night come, so you don't really need to lie down. Them say what was wrong comes right back around. I go wait until the time come. So from sun up straight to sunset, you could catch I bust in a sweat. I must climb up. I feel like hope. Move any mountain and trample any building like hope. Man, come here, stop. What if you wait all day? To match up the place. What if you wait all day? To match up the place.
I want to remind you guys that we are live on iTunes Radio with rebroadcast on Soca Passion TX this evening from 6 to 8 p.m. and tomorrow, Christmas Day, on Island Beach Radio from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. We are about to bring in our contributor, Miss Phyllis Worrell. In the meantime, you know what, Kevorkian, just give me a little bit, you know.
Oh gosh.
Man, your belly. I'm just a stranger in a crowded place. Me and me cooler and we did. Hoping to find someone with a familiar face, so we could fit and celebrate. This is not the time to be alone. This is the time to wind on a bumper. So let's be amazing, be fire blazing. But no care in the world that we get from bad in here. I want you to charm on somebody now. Hold on somebody now. Keep them company. I want you to charm on somebody now. Hold on somebody now. Make them your family. Together let me mash up the place and dance. Then we walk up, we waist and dance. Together let me mash up the place and dance. Then we walk up, we waist and dance. Drunk or sober, I out from a culture, set up panorama again. On the road with you, man, jumping up to the Soca. Must find a partner to play mass with me. This is not the time to be alone. This is the time to wind on a bumper. So let's be amazing, fire blazing. But no care in the world that we get from bad in here. I want you to charm on somebody now. Hold on somebody now. Keep them company. I want you to charm on somebody now. Hold on somebody now. Make them your family. Take them party rum. Ice.
I want to talk about this.
Watch how the party starts tonight. Because we out and bad and the people better we cause the trouble.
I see it. We gave you some heat up there, right? How cold is it up in New York, girl?
Very cold.
Very cold. Okay, like
Yes.
single digits cold?
Yes.
Oh
This
my
morning
gosh.
was like 8.
Oh, jeez. And you had to get up and go to work in that?
My car door couldn't even open.
Oh, shoots. You ever had that?
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it frozen. I've seen
Yeah. So what you had to do, like spray it with something or what?
I went on the other side of the car and that side open and climb over because even the
Do you
Yeah.
have those? Do you have the automatic starter where you could start the car from inside the house?
No, I don't. I didn't put it on my car.
Maybe you need to put that on for next year, please, God.
Yes.
Just a
because
suggestion.
yeah. Yeah, it was. Yesterday was bad. Windy too. The wind chill.
So last night, so we complaining about what we have here, which was, it was 26 degrees last night. Y'all want some of that, right?
Yeah, like on the floor it's icy. You can't open the puddles of water is ice, so you have to be careful because it could slip.
Oh, damn. These two used to live in Brooklyn, so this is familiar to them.
Used to.
Also, they ain't missing nothing.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
We have very little sympathy.
Yeah.
Coach say, I don't even hear him back there. He said they have very little sympathy. You earn it by yourself.
Yeah. True, right?
So I know right now you're missing Barbados and Trinidad because you want
You're
some of
sure
that
right.
heat. Uh-huh.
Sometimes, when it's so cold, you just tell yourself, why am I here?
Well, you're there because I don't know. There are many different sentences as to why you're there, but the most important thing is that you were able to get up this morning,
Yes.
swing your legs off the bed, and go and try to open the car door that's stuck. So, with that being said, talk to us about Motivation Monday, this past Monday here.
Yes.
And
Well,
season's greetings to you, okay?
yes. Happy Christmas Eve, everyone. This Monday, we didn't have really a program. We had a program, but it was more giveaways. So I had some hampers and I do a trivia. And with the trivia, now I ask them question within the year. Like this, name 2 persons who I interviewed, what year I started motivation. It was fun. It was fun. Then we talked a little about, just the less fortunate because not everyone could afford, especially since COVID. A lot of people are going through a rough period,
I was
So we were just
I was talking to my sister. Well, I have 2 sisters in Trinidad. I was talking to one of them yesterday, Joan, and she was saying that usually High Street would be hustling and bustling, but people don't have the money to spend. So you find the hustle and bustle that you typically would find for Christmas is not there because there are a lot of people having a hard time just surviving.
And then everything going up in the grocery. Even when I went to Trinidad, I spent 3,000 TT dollars in groceries.
And how
And
many?
that's a grocery for ham and everything else. Everything is expensive. Trust me. Everything went up. Don't talk for the market. If you want a Sunday lunch, it's 500.
Well, I didn't really read the article, I glanced through it. I think the market in San Fernando, a lot of the vendors were cutting their prices to encourage people to buy because people don't have the money. And it's not
No.
just Trinidad and Tobago. I'm sure it's happening in Jamaica, in other Caribbean islands,
Yes.
It's just not there.
Yeah, and with Christmas, everybody loves Christmas, you know what I mean? But again, it's very hard out there for some people. And tomorrow I'll be going to the women's shelter and I do 60 bags of toiletries for the women's shelter in Brooklyn. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow.
This is the first time doing that, or you've been doing that for a couple years
No,
now?
I've been doing it for some years now, the women and the men
Nice.
shelter. But because of COVID, we were not allowed to do it. So seeing that things are back to normal, I decided that I want to do it this year. So my girlfriend is coming to help me pack all the bags, and tomorrow we'll all go in a group because I have a lineman crew. So they're coming out and let them see. I mean, a little gift bag with toiletries in it. It's so thankful to get it. So I'll take a picture. So you could see that next week. I'll send the video.
Don't just take a picture and take like a short 15 or 30-second video, well, 1 minute video, and send it. As you said that, I thought of someone shared a video of a woman. I don't know if you all saw it. I guess JTA in Trinidad, they had like a shopper that won a shopping spree. I don't know if you saw it. And this
No.
woman, she should have just handed that to somebody else who really needed it. Because if you have a certain amount of time on the clock to get groceries out of one of the top grocery stores in Trinidad, would you be walking
Yes.
like if nobody's
No.
business and only picking up alcohol?
No.
That's what she was doing. Somebody else would just be racing down the aisles, just,
Survivor for the fittest, yeah.
yeah, she didn't. So I was like, you know what? You should have just given that opportunity to someone else who really
Yeah.
needed it because
And what I want to say too is that people take simple things for granted, and it's just a blessing when you have to give to others and always be thoughtful. I mean, 2023 is upon us next week, God's willing. And I just want people to know that, I don't like resolution. I say, what, I make a goal and try to keep that. So, with the new year coming, I hope that whatever people didn't get in 2022, hoping that 23 be bigger, brighter, and just be focused.
That's good. Good goals to set. We setting our own goals here in the People's Chat Room, and I'm going to take this opportunity while you are on to thank all our DJs on iTunes Radio, to thank all the DJs on Soca Passion, and of course the DJs on Island Beat Radio and these two gentlemen back here, specific emphasis on Code Red, because
Yes.
I couldn't just stand here and do this. I can't. I mean, we did a recording. I did a recording with Liam Teague
I said,
a
did
couple
you
days
come
ago,
to-
and that was hard because I had to, like, you know, it was just me.
Yes.
Can't
No,
do it.
yeah.
You know, I want to
Generous.
thank you for being a
Positive
part
generous.
of the People's Chat Room. Okay, every
You're welcome.
Saturday when you come on, you bring something to what we do here, and of course, I'd like to thank Kevin Amoroso and our guests. So,
Well, thank you very much for getting the opportunity to join the panel with you guys. I know, yes, the engineer is behind you, you know, and I've been watching you guys all the time. And I just want to say thank you so much for considering me, and bigger and brighter things for the new year, God's willing.
actually, you're right on that. We are working on bigger and better things because I feel every year you gotta level it up or step up to
Yes.
a couple other levels because you can't stay in that same space, in that same zone. So, and of course, as we succeed, you succeed also, and I'm hoping that as you succeed, we succeed because we're all in
Yes.
this together. So
Yes.
you stay warm, my sister, and a Merry Christmas to you and
Thank
your
you.
family.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Stay blessed.
See you in 2 weeks because we're not on next week. Have a
All right.
blessed
Okay,
one.
cool.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. So, Miss Phyllis Worrell, one of our contributors on the show, she started with us about roughly a little over a month ago, Code? Yeah. And she brings some real good substance to the show. I want to say thank you for the people that are tuning in. We've got Leon Caldero, Ryvan Campbell. I saw Ryvan a couple days ago. Ian Williams, good morning. Sandra Fatmi Hall had a dinner that was to honor her youngsters from the Florida. I know the acronym is FLU. So Florida Future Leaders Future Leaders United. Yes, I think I got it. And yeah, and Ryvan was there. Ryvan represents, of course, he's from Barbados. So thanks, Ryvan, for tuning in. And let me turn you back over to DJ Kevorkian on the ones and twos as we get ready to bring on our next guest, which would be Kyle Noel, producer and steel Pannist. And we will talk and listen to some of what he's got.
Right now we come to start the party. See Martin and Farmer napping. We come to make all the girls them happy. Yeah. Watch day, I see the clowns them start to set. And we don't even reach the venue yet. This might be a night we won't forget. Cause as soon as we step in the bed, it's gone like rain, flowing like water. Whip me down with your bumper. Whip me down. It's gone like rain. With your water.
Is it me or the weather that have you feeling so? From the time I see I want to put the work on you.
That paper waste is pressure like a wasaline. Once the lightning strike 2 times and you get it on the wine. It's gone like rain, flowing like water. With your bumper.
Oh yeah. So when I truly leave home, well, he must return to the greatest place in the world. Water Spain. Complimenting you with the carnival night. Yeah. This is my vetted paradise. Water Spain. Complimenting you with the carnival night. Yeah. Don't pay up all of the price.
like heaven and up. Damn girl on 10 eyes 11 and up. You can't do no better, you know. When the sweat dripping down my body, wetting it up, and I just can't get enough of you. Like slow me bubbling, moving my waist if you want come troubling. And when times get troubling, I need a man who on top of things, stick to the program for ya. You don't see anything, everything I'll do for ya. So let me show that we grown up, I'm a big girl now. So let we take a drink of the rum. We grown up, give me that one. Party till the sun comes up.
She's a bacchanal every time she come my way. Look at the tongue when you dip down there. Sweetness, yeah, apple, I won't try to. She's a carnival every time she touch down there. Back to tongue when you hit my way. Excellent! I want to dance with you. You make me feel so good. I love how you rock my world. This long overdue. Because I wanna be your lifeline forever, every day. I pray. Hold on, no matter if life hard in the darkest days. Love on the moonlight forever in the stars. I say, come let me dance from night time till the morning rays. Because I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. And we keep on holding on, and we keep on holding on. Lifeline, so we keep on holding on, holding on. So we keep on holding on, holding on. We keep on holding on, holding on. So we keep on holding on.
Fire burn a vampire. Stick to them and throw them in a bonfire. Take them in a location where we burn tire. Tell vampires and bad mind. Them can't step into my place. Can't put a foot in our doorway. Vampires get no invitation. Bye bye. Them can't step into my place. Can't put a foot in our doorway.
Kyle, you're going. Okay, you come back. Seasons, yeah, I got it on. Seasons greetings. You gotta turn your audio on. We can't hear you. Unmute yourself. All right.
You hearing me now?
I hearing you now. We hearing you now. Seasons greetings. Welcome to the People's Chat Room. How is Christmas in Trinidad and Tobago right about now? He gone again, but he'll come back on just now.
Yeah, I think I'm back on, alright?
You're back on now.
Good.
Seasons greetings.
Same to you and same to everybody in the room.
Thank you. And again, you're a friend of the People's Chat Room, so you know we have an open door policy here. So hey, it's all good, you know.
I appreciate the invitation.
You're welcome. So yesterday, when I have my strategy for sharing the information that's coming up on the show on a weekly basis. So yesterday, I noticed that a gentleman who is also one of my FB friends, but I believe is someone that you know, of course, he shared it. Let me see if I could find his name. And when he shared it on his page, he had a fitting tribute, I think, to Earl Brooks Jr. Does that name sound familiar?
Of course.
When he shared it, he said 3 cultural icons I personally respect. And of course, you are on today with Chuck Gordon and Liam Teague.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. So I'm finding out. I mean, I know you had the program on WAC Radio. Do you still have the program?
No. Actually, we're still trying to negotiate it to continue. It was very enlightening.
The program was enlightening. You give me that. Always.
Listen to that political answer.
You hearing code back there? He said, listen to that political answer. We don't want to box you up right now. We don't want to back you into a corner, but that response was really telling.
You know, you say less, but you know more, you know?
Yeah, right? I gotta tell you, I mean, I'm sure that iTunes Radio would be would we'll be able to find an hour for you. We ain't gonna charge you.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I have
You
no
know,
problem.
just when you bring on sponsors are saying it out loud, just make sure we get a little percentage and that's it. But
Of course,
What?
that's the easy
What?
part. I
that's the
think
easy
that
part. All right,
that's
so
the
we go
easy
talk
part.
afterwards. Okay,
Yeah.
and let's see what hour is available.
I think the hard part was the truth,
Wait.
the
Code
revealing the
say,
hidden stuff.
code say I settle like a Mack truck. Oh Lord, one of my 40s. This is the stage I get to in my life at. I'll be turning 60 next year, and I say that with
Well, you
pride
look
because
great.
I don't look it. That's the genes of my mommy and my daddy. But anyhow,
I close to 40, yeah.
you're a baby still. Come on now.
Eh.
But God is good. So we'll talk
Yes.
after. But let's talk Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk the new album, which we're gonna play 3 songs because we can't play all of them.
No problem.
But let's talk about this new album. Talk to us
Yes.
about it.
Well, it
We lost him. He's frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen. Yeah.
He is so frozen. So while he,
What we had, let me
so while
I've always
okay, you froze a little bit there, Kyle. Okay,
still frozen.
No, because we saw your hand move. So no, you're not
Okay.
frozen anymore. Go ahead. He's frozen again.
Yeah,
Look.
go ahead. Keep
I'm frozen.
No, you're not frozen.
Okay. I just had to make sure. I'll keep moving. I'll
This
keep
is the
moving my
age
hand.
of 20s, the 2022 kind of thing going into 2023. So while we're not frozen, talk to us about the Christmas album.
Right. So normally every year, for the past 5 years, I would normally put out a Christmas content. This year in particular, because of the amount of new ideas that's circulating around the world and through the internet, lo-fi was something that was really growing amongst people in their quiet time. I was like, I never really hear steel pan in a lo-fi format. So we decided to just take 6 songs and redo them and rearrange them with the collaboration of a very talented musician called Charles Ryan. And we came together and we did that no cap in here, but in about 4 days.
I believe you. With the
4
level of
days.
musicianship that you have displayed over the years, we know that you've grown in leaps and bounds. So 4 days,
Yes.
I believe you.
Yeah, 4 days, and it was really good to us given out for free as it is. And the title came by a friend called Larry Lelock, a guitarist.
I know Larry Lelock. His sister,
Right.
his Rambaranson, she died, I think, last year. Once
That's
upon a
right.
Christmas Eve, a shepherd who believed. Yeah.
Yes,
Larry,
and actually,
yes.
he was actually on the website. We have a concert called the Family Line that's on for sale that has featured Larry and his sister's music. I played his sister Christmas Magic.
Yes, yes. I
So,
can hear her voice now.
Yeah, it was a wonderful time. So with that, when he heard some of the tracks, he said this is a unpretentious holiday album. I was like, what a fitting name. So we call it Pan Lo-Fi Unpretentious Holiday.
So
And it's just something new, something fresh, and of course it's in 432 for the good buddy.
So with that, that's a segue for us to just play one of the songs.
Beautiful.
Kevorkian, and we're going to talk on the other side.
Yeah.
somehow took my mind back to that group with Luther Vandross, Change.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good
Marcus
vibes, man.
Miller kind of vibe.
Yeah, God rest. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
But then,
And that's the mention too. This is my new pan made by Augustus Peters, the best student in the world right now. Not from my words only, but from the whole world is proclaiming him as the best, and he is. And he's the only tuner that tuned my pan or tuned a pan to 432.
is he based in Trinidad or abroad?
Yeah, he's in.
You froze again. Oh,
He's
Lord.
based in Trinidadian, but he's all over the world.
He's all over. Okay, and his name is Augustus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Augustus Peters.
Wasn't there another guy that was? I think his name started with a G too. I think, but if you say it, it will strike a memory, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But
What he did?
He was also or is also a tuner of a notarized. Yeah.
You're talking about Guppy.
Guppy, see another
Guppy.
G.
He passed away. He passed
did?
away. Yeah, he passed away.
How long ago?
Yeah, last year I think. Last year.
Oh, I did not know that, but
Yeah, he was a good one too.
I had heard so many people talk about him, and a lot of people that I know, they had their pans tuned by Guppy.
Yeah, Guppy was the thing at a point in time where everybody wanted a Guppy pan.
Uncle's a tuner too.
Your uncle's a tuner. What's his name?
Honey Boy in Carnage.
Honey Boy, you know him?
No. There's so many now. So well, we don't want to get into because we're talking about the Christmas album, because even based on this show in August was based on those things. And you remember there's a new company called Midco that I don't want to advertise them for free.
No.
But this is
we're not going to talk about them. You can talk about them on your show when you have that show.
Right, but anyhow, they have a whole group of young tuners and they're mass producing steel bands. So, but Gussie is the number one tuner because he customize your pan to suit the player. So
and the tone that you use, refresh my memory, is
the pitch. I mean the frequency, 432.
432. So
432.
Gussie tunes the pan to 432, and he's the only one that does it.
He's the only one that does it. He's the only tuner that I know that was willing to do it, and he's the only one that's doing it. Yeah.
I was about to say it's got to be someone who is open-minded, because
Very
I feel
much
like
so.
if you might have people pushing back on what you would like, and it sounds like if he did not do that, so that's awesome. So we're gonna do Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Ugh. Yo.
So here what you gonna do, all right? Because Lima playing around with us today. Send me if you have the stems, we can broken down. I can record Lima's voice, and what you do, you can master it.
Yeah.
Because Lima playing the
I was not going to say that. I was like, what going on here?
Lima playing the whole Christmas.
Whoa,
Thank
bro.
you. Have a good day.
I think you read my mind. Because I listened to it, I guess the album wasn't completed then. Lima, we need to do something for next Christmas apparently, because your voice is amazing. What is going on here?
It's a vibe thing, you know what I'm saying?
What are you doing?
Next year there's some plans afoot. But in the meantime, let's bring.
I know you sent stuff before, but it was more on the Soca thing. But the value of what you was just doing there, just casual, was like, what is going on here?
It's Christmas. Hey.
Stop playing.
All right.
No more playing.
All
No
right,
more games.
Kyle. But I will call you after, because I really think that iTunes would be a good platform for you to do you. You know.
Okay.
We don't have a whole lot of rules, seriously. But tell our listeners where they can get this album, because I know that you were pitching it out for free and people could just download it. But at some point, when are we going to have to start paying for this thing? Because it's good music. You've got like 12 tracks, right? No?
You're right. I'm not gonna charge. Okay, I guess I'm frozen again.
Yeah, you're frozen, but we were hearing you.
I'm not going to be charging anybody for this.
So how can they access it then?
Right, so you go to balanceproject.me and you go to the menu section, catalog, music, and you scroll down and you're going to see Panlofied, Unpretentious, free download. And you click and you go free checkout and you will get your stuff for free.
Because it's good music. I know we have more, but we kind of limited with time, so we got to go. But
that's all right. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you always bring to our listeners and the air that is willing to listen to something different. We appreciate
That's right.
Yeah.
We have so much more coming for next year. You would not believe. There's loads of music coming.
Nice.
Loads of projects, loads of ideas, things that you wouldn't imagine. Trust me.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
I'll call you in a couple hours. All right?
Okay, no problem. No problem.
God bless.
Enjoy. Everybody in the room, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Mr. Kyle Noel, the Balance Project. I know that Black Carpet Movement was one of his projects also, but now it's all about the Balance Project. So you all heard how to download that album, right? And it's good stuff. Really good stuff. So we're going to turn... Oh, Code, you coming over now?
No.
Okay. So... oh, that's the song that's all I like. So we're going to take a music break. In the meantime, I want to remind you that we are going to be on... Let me see. We're live right now on iTunes Radio. And of course, we are in repeat mode this evening on Soca Passion TX. And tomorrow on islandbeatradio.net. It is Christmas. It's such a beautiful thing. I love Christmas. To me, it's the shortest part of the year and the best part of the year. But that's just me. Code, you taking it up?
No.
So who taking it?
No, I just playing until
okay.
he relaxing himself.
If I tell you this story, you have to believe me. It happened late at night. Me and the woman hug up tight. It was so frightening. Dog, it happened like lightning. She catch me by surprise. She was hiding in disguise. Go for it. I managed to get away. Go for it. I live to see another day. Go for it. She take all try to suck my energy.
Jesus, Sokoya. Jesus, Sokoya. Jesus, Sokoya.
You like it sweet? You like it sweet? Hey, juicy, juicy, juicy now. The thing juicy, 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 juicy now. The thing juicy, juicy. Boy, now we go. The thing looking nice and juicy, full up and harvest ready. I see how you're watching, baby. Come get a sample on me. Boy, come and check it out. I got all the sweetness for you before all the juice run out. And you got to wait. Hey, use your rock, come and pick it. It's falling straight in your lap now, baby. When I throw it back, catch it. So let the thing go to waste, so darling. If it's sweet, yeah, eat it all, baby. If the juice, I say, that's how I like it. 'Cause it's ripe and ready for the taking. It's ripe and ready for the taking, baby. I hope you don't waste it. Just let me know how it tastes. It's ripe and ready for the taking. Ripe and ready for the taking, darling. I hope you don't waste it. Just let me know how it tastes. Juicy, juicy, juicy now. The thing juicy, juicy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Juicy, juicy, juicy now. The thing juicy, juicy. Take your ride.
Long time. It's a long time. We got that. Come take a look at jam on the inside there. We got vibes. We got enough energy and girls on the inside there. Boy, yo. Come take a look at jam on the inside there. We got vibes. We got enough energy and girls on the inside there. Boy, yo. I'm a happy place in my life, and it can't change. And I just come out here to do right. So whether day or night, I will never ever change. I'm a happiness everywhere I go. I'm a happiness never ever change. I'm a happiness everywhere I go. I'm a
Better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same.
I go bring my friends and you could bring your friends, and we friends will all line together. Just decide who wants we line in this place or real vibe. Right here in the back, yeah, jam. We go tingy licky, tingy licky, tingy licky. It's real vibes and we beat you lion right here in the back, yeah, jam. Hey, go straight in the kitchen, grab a pot and then start beating your head. I turn up the fed till it turn over. I turn up the fed till it turn over. Boy, I just wanna get this feeling all day. I just wanna drink and party all day. Yeah. Give a little money to the promoter. Boy, give a little money to the club owner. Hey, I just wanna get this feeling all day. I just wanna drink and party all day. All I want is a little more fat with you. All I want is a take a little drink with you. All I want is a little more fat with you. All I want is, so don't tell me the party over. Oh no. Oh Lord. Mm-mm. Oh no. Mm-mm. Oh Lord. Bacchanal. Bacchanal. Man, it's a bacchanal. All we come here for, bacchanal and water. All we come here for, bacchanal and powder. All we come here for, bacchanal and water. All we come here
for? Tell them. Bacchanal and powder. Watch it, watch it. I come to pay my money and dance in the water. Dance more, dance more. Why done make up my mind chaos and disorder. I never come here to pose and stand up in a corner. Not at all, not at all. Especially when girl waist rolling like hot marijuana. I come in here with a bucket of paint. Drink till I iron fall like a fiend. I never come here to act like a saint. Ask if I know man, I tell them I hate. I come to stand by the barrel of mud. From head to toe, boy, I broke like a flood. Just like vampires attracted to blood. Run into we and them running because when I want Bacchanal and water. All they come here for Bacchanal and powder. All we come here for Bacchanal and water. All we come here for Bacchanal and powder.
Hey, I don't want no one woman. All I want is plenty woman. Give me plenty woman. I don't want no one woman. All I want is plenty woman. Give me plenty woman. You know why them girl, them man.
So are you ready for Carnival 2023?
No, I'm not going.
You buy a ticket, eh?
You buy a ticket, that's why you showing off. That's why you showing
Why
off.
you ain't going?
That's why you showing off.
Why you ain't going?
Them tickets is like a mortgage.
I see somebody was complaining about that. I see somebody. We got Chuck in the waiting room. I see people complaining about how they need to bring their airfare down and all of that.
Like a mortgage payment.
If it was ridiculous, is that bad? Damn. Well, I know already things hard, you know, but Chuck Gordon coming into he's in the waiting room, so we're just waiting for him to let us see him. All right, how are we doing? Oh, sorry. I had to unmute you. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you clearly.
Awesome. Merry Christmas, season's greetings, all that good stuff. And like they say here, happy
Yeah,
holidays and all that. Took me a while to understand the happy holidays part because I'm like, when you tell me happy holidays, I'm going to tell you Merry Christmas. But now someone broke it down to me that after Christmas, you still got holidays coming. So that's what the holidays, happy holidays refer to. So
Understood. And like in Trinidad, they celebrate 100 days of Christmas.
100
So all
days
October is yeah.
That's the
So
right
all
way.
October is happy holidays. Sorry?
Isn't that the right way to do it?
I don't know. I guess.
There's no right or wrong way, right? So we had Kyle Noel on before you, and I will say to you the same thing I said to him. I know that we have some heavy hitters on the show, but I didn't realize how heavy you guys were until I saw Earl Brooks Jr.'s response to, after sharing it. He said 3 men that he respects: you, Kyle, and of course Liam Teague, who is coming up after you. Yeah.
I share to that.
Yeah. So
I share to that. And Earl Brooks is a young legend in his own right. Is it the dad or the son you're referring to?
Junior.
Junior.
So I guess it's the
well,
son.
he's
Yeah.
He's getting up into that space very slowly.
Let's start with the new song and then we'll touch the Christmas songs.
Sure.
Cole is asking me, what's the name again? Something. Okay, don't tell me. Don't you dare tell me. Oh.
Actually, there's one that I just finished in studio about an hour ago.
We don't have that.
Yeah, I could maybe. You know what? I just finished it an hour ago. you ain't gonna have it yet. So maybe we could do a world premiere right now.
That would be nice. You know the email. Can you send it to that?
Can I just the easiest? I don't have it in email to send in that format yet. Maybe I could just send on WhatsApp and you could use that for now.
I could. Could.
I can fix it.
And then I will
he said
send
he could fix it. But the song that we have is "If You Have It," and that was
that's one.
So I mean,
there's quite a few he said.
Well, he sent some Christmas songs too.
Yes.
But the one that he was that we were going to premiere a couple weeks ago, and he was supposed to be on. I couldn't resist that.
Yeah, but
It's yeah, I
doing
know.
Kaiso business.
I know. Is if you have it. So which one you want to go with first? If you have it, see now we were supposed to play that then. So we're gonna play that, and then go ahead and send it to me via WhatsApp, and I'll forward it to him while this song is
Just
playing.
did.
You just did. Okay.
Just did.
All right. So let's listen to If I Have It. If you have it.
I have it.
You know you have it.
Jiggy Calypso. Oh, oh, yeah. Ah. Hey, girl, I like the way you work and play. Sincerely, lyric style. Ha. Seducted, mischievous, beautiful, delicious, naughty and nice. Yeah, that is you. Sugar and spice, you got that too. Good looking, baby, you are blessed. Sexy thing, yeah, you want it best. Walk like a duck, rhythm in the spine. With your boom boom cut, doing your vicey wine. Right and statistics looking fine. Accent that blowing people mind. Hot, hot, hot. You can foil a front. If you have it, throw it. If you have it, roll it. If you have it, walk it. If you have it, rock it. If you have it, girl, swing it. If you have it, girl, fling it. If you have it, move it, baby, move it, baby. Slam it, baby, jam it, baby. If you have it, seductive, mischievous, beautiful, so gorgeous. I watch you and could visualize the things you do, make me fantasize. Imagination only running wild. Congratulations, you're a shining child.
Okay, bad singer. You are on the chain. You
Hey,
know,
give
your
thanks.
delivery. I mean, I just
Yeah.
sent him the new one, and we're gonna play it just now. But let me just say this:
Sure.
walking back here, he's like, he from south. He from south. I said, no, he from east.
Yeah. North Lavantil to be exact.
Lavantil.
Yeah, man. The the bird the birthplace of the carnival. Straight.
Ambulé. Did I say it right? Cambulé. Yes. Stop. Yes.
That's correct. That's correct. The birthplace.
Well, look, you just taught me something that I really didn't know, that Lavantil was the birthplace. I just thought it was
Absolutely.
Trinidad and Tobago. I really
Yeah.
thought it was a
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. And the
So,
birthplace of the steel pan
and
too.
the-
Say less.
Despaz. I know that one.
Desperado.
So what do you
Yeah, man.
what are you looking forward to for the new season? Because 2023 Carnival is ready. We were just talking about
Yeah.
how expensive the tickets are from up here to head down to Trinidad and Tobago. And I know that you
Yeah.
were connecting with a tent, weren't you?
Yeah. So to answer your question and to include the conversation about the tent, I find myself in a unique space because I am working on developing the Jiggy Calypso sound, which is essentially trying to do music that people could dance to, that is melodic and still tells a story. Um, I mean, it's a unique space because the majority of the soca songs aren't focused on that necessarily. It's more focused on the
Jam
essence
jam.
of the party and dealing
Mhm.
with party content and themes,
Mhm.
right? But I'm trying to do it in a different way, and I recognize that to be able to do that well, I have to develop my own shows
Mhm.
because it's a bit different to what most people ascribe to in terms of the parties and whatnot. So coming to the tent now, it provides me the opportunity to produce shows at the tent level that is entertaining and that is keeping with the whole Jiggy Calypso idea as well. So it's about creating and bringing back that kind of party atmosphere, that kind of entertainment and ethos to the tent. So being the manager of the tent now provides me the opportunity to produce shows at that level and then still be able now to learn from the experience to bring forward my content as I move forward.
Okay, so you have
So it's a really, really unique opportunity that I find myself.
so you have a certain amount of control being you're the manager. So what's the name of the tent?
Correct. It's Kaiso House Calypso 10. That's
Located.
Tuco's flagship tent for the season.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main tent. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's in good
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
because you bringing a business. You're also bringing a business approach to it too. So, with not just the music but also the business, forecasting that they should do pretty well. So thanks in advance.
Yeah, yeah.
They need that.
Yeah, and we're looking at the adopting modern approaches, much like what the popular soca artists and the popular events do in terms of attracting audiences and improving the audience experience, which has not really been the focus of the tent in the past years. The focus has more been on the artists and their tenure, just being able to have the space. And while that is good, we have to recognize the business of music has gone past Calypso, and it's time for us to play catch up.
I have to call you and I have to call Kyle because there's certain things that are going through my mind here that I will not say on the air because it might not be complimentary to certain people.
Sit!
No. No. I ain't gonna say.
Hey!
I ain't gonna say.
After 2020, I call it the shift. Listen, there's no holds barred, you know.
I ain't gonna say it, no, but all I will say is
we have no time to study feelings and things again, you know.
You see how he begging me to be myself, but I'm gonna restrain myself a little bit. No. I'll hold back a little bit. So, but I will say this: the approach that you are going in with is the damn right approach. Okay.
Yeah.
Just remember that some of these older heads need to be taught certain things, and workshops would be necessary, but do what you gotta do. Yeah. Because I believe you gotta bring them along into that space if they want to survive, and sometimes you might have to bring them in kicking and screaming, but break it down to them. And you're a social worker, so you should know how to do it.
So
okay?
hold on.
Boy, so
real quick. The old need to come to the new, and the new need to understand the old.
Yeah.
Say it again.
The old need to come to the new, and the new need to understand and respect the old.
Yeah.
The new ones don't have the new ones not understanding the history. The old ones not understanding the modernization that they live in. They still look. We had an issue last week, but we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, by the way, we need to give some props to Super Blue because he was our guest last week.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yes, let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
No, but I understand what he's trying to do. What he's trying to do is that, the older heads complain about the music today because the new ones are not, understanding their history or not respecting them or not bringing them, including them. But the old ones don't want to learn the new ways.
Yeah.
But you can't generalize.
Why not? Why not?
Because you can't generalize.
But if you don't generalize, then they get leave out. They get leave out. They get leave out.
Okay, but some of them,
Yeah.
It's difficult for me to adjust to change. You know that. All right?
But,
But I do come along kicking and screaming, and then I settle down and I'm okay. Okay?
Right.
But I don't want to get too far out of the vein of the music.
Yes.
Because people always bring you back.
It's a lot of things that in that little exchange y'all had there that I really have to take on board, which is as Code Red mentioned, understanding, and then I'm hearing a bit of communication. I'm hearing resistance to change, which is always a reality.
And then as a social worker, you would understand this statement: a culture within a culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
absolutely.
The older heads.
And the culture within the culture of Calypso and the Calypso tent, in a letter that I had to send out to all the past cast members, I articulated it as a culture of failure. Because the focus has not been on the audience experience and more on the Calypsonian. But the product that is Calypso has to predominate in every conversation.
And it has.
And I think to tie in what you all just highlighted there in the exchange is that, even you have to recognize if you're an older Calypsonian, you're failing, you're not able to perform as you were. It's time for you to give somebody else an opportunity. So that culture of you just holding on because of your tenure is focused on self and not on calypso. Because if you really care about calypso, you recognize that, hey, this is my time to move on. And that is the primary issue that we'll be trying to address.
Okay, but let me just say this too, and then we have to play the new song because the interview that we did with Leon was pre-recorded, so we got to figure out where to break to put in some music. But let me say this: part of the whole focus on self is also focus on they gotta eat.
Yeah.
And some of them,
yeah.
that's the way their small income, But I'm hoping that as you help them to come into the 22nd century, because that's where we're going right now, that you would help them to understand that coming into this century will also allow them to make that money, as well as focus on the product.
That's right. So it's a unique, but the approach has to be nuanced at every level,
Lord,
and every individual and every situation has to be treated accordingly.
And
so it's ain't black and white at all.
It's not black and white, but I feel like you could handle this because I think you have the skill set to do that. So what's this new song? What's this new song, Chuck? You're welcome.
Yeah, it's called Over the Moon.
Over the Moon.
Coming out of the pandemic and the opportunity to be able to play mass and full on the road and party unreservedly, inclusive of the Calypso tent. The music just had to go to new heights. The music and the culture just has to go to new heights.
So immediately,
the mother of all carnivals.
Immediately, the song that came to mind, and then could jump right in with the song. Spread your hands and let go.
Let's go.
Yeah, we go.
Over the moon, yeah. Over the moon, yeah. Look there.
It's nice.
Over the moon, yeah. Over the moon, yeah. Look there. I said Soca over the moon. From shake up and groove. I said Soca over the moon. That's what. From free up the groove. Raise your hand up to the sky and wave a lion troubles goodbye. Give thanks for another day. Listen with this kind of vibe. No disease or infection. Jabbing with shield and protection. Long time I have felt like this. With a big sound and a soul that chip. In a long time I have feel this way. So I get on the road again. Look me what's there. I said so can nobody
Chuck, this is some bad stuff. I mean, from the tone of your voice, I mean, I've said before, your voice is just
always
a powerful, engine, and then you have the old time feel to it, and then you're showing them horn lines, and then I'm a sucker for good background vocals. I mean, the whole production.
Yeah, man. Ashley. This is world premiere right here. World premiere right here.
We love it.
Give tags.
All the time. So we gotta make way for the next interview. But I tell you what, you guys gotta think about how we leaving today, because you got so much stuff. You got this song. You got the Christmas song. We didn't even play any of your Christmas songs.
We could probably do the I'll Be Home for Christmas, for all the people who have a little tabanka for not being home at this time,
You had to throw that in?
Yeah, because you can't be touching big Christmas. So.
It's hard, You're right.
So all the people who making their way as we speak. this one is for you.
You got it? You gonna play it now? Or you gonna play it at the end of the show?
Not play it at the end.
Okay, we'll play it at the end. Over the moon,
yeah.
We'll play it at the end of the show.
Yes.
because we
Sure,
got a
no
packed
problem.
show because I think we're going beyond 2 o'clock today again. Shoot.
Okay.
Can't go too far because we got to do that Zoom interview with Mr. Golding and Lady D. But we got to bring you back again because I want to talk about what you're doing with that tent.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah,
to do
sure,
it before
sure.
Carnival. Okay?
Okay.
So I will reach
Yeah,
out
definitely.
to you and let me know. I'll give you some dates and let me know which one really works for you. All right?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you
I
and
was
the family.
I was just kind of running in, reaching home to get to this interview from his studio.
And going back again.
And then they got to go again. But
Yes.
Merry Christmas to you and the family.
Season greetings.
And
Blessings.
thank you for the music that you bring and the music that you will continue to bring. And not just that, the energy that you're going to bring to the culture. Thank you.
I share to that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Merry Christmas to you and the family, to you all. Blessings.
Thank you
blessings.
so much.
Good rain. The vibes.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
Lord, over the moon.
Over the moon, over the moon,
Man, ain't nobody else in here this yet, you know.
Nobody in here this year.
Yeah,
So the
boy.
People's Chat Room was the first world premiere of Over the Moon
Yeah.
by Chuck Gordon. It was completed an hour ago, so all you ting.
So, as they say, we have a packed show, so I have to cut it short.
Yeah.
I have to cut it short.
So we lining up the interview with Mr. Liam Teague. And
So,
go ahead.
what you want to do first? The
You tell
interview
me.
or the let's do the interview. That's so important.
Okay.
And
And
then-
you could just drop in a little bit of the music here and there, but so let me line this up. So it was a pre-recorded interview because Liam's schedule is really, really tight because he's a professor at the Northern Illinois University in steel pan studies. He is on a break now from school, but his family is very important to him. Plus, he's got a lot of other things that he does. So we've been trying to get Liam on the show for months now. Finally happened, and hopefully when he comes back on again, it will be live. But in the meantime, this is steel Pannist professor, Mr. Liam Teague.
Good morning.
We'd like to welcome Mr. Liam Teague, or should I say Professor Liam Teague, to the People's Chat Room. And this is a really interesting conversation that we're going to have, and we encourage you to just be a part of it, okay? So Liam, first question. Let me start by saying that you are a phenomenal player.
Thank you
I
very
listened to Cello Vibes from 13 years ago, I believe, and your touch on the tenor pan is incredible. So, how many pan instruments, and I gotta say, my disclaimer is, I'm not really, I don't really know the pan that well. I know I enjoy listening to it, but as far as the intricacies and all of that, that's your forte. So, how many pan instruments do you play, and which pan is your instrument of choice, and why?
I play the majority of the voices, the steel pan voices. The one that I play the most would be the tenor pan, as it's called in the Caribbean. It's, as you may know, it's actually in the soprano range, but in the Caribbean, we refer to it as the tenor pan. To be perfectly honest with you, the reason why I play it the most is because it's the easiest one to travel with. It's just one drum, as opposed to, let's say, the double seconds. Which can sometimes be a bit of a nightmare, especially with the airlines, what they charge nowadays for baggage, etc. But I do play a lot of tenor pan, double seconds, and as you mentioned a few minutes ago, the cello pan, because that piece that you referred to, which is actually called Cello Vibes, but it is for the cello pan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just pause for a second. That was, the way how you were just, okay. Remember my listening ear. Yes, I am a musician, but still my listening ear is different to what a panist would listen to. But when I saw you playing the three tenors, it's like you were moving with the same vibration, the same energy that you would see any instrumentalist play their instrument.
That was the visual for me was just breathtaking. And then when you combine that with the sound, it was like, wow, it's like you were listening to the pan with a different air. Me, that is. So I'm sorry. I had to just jump in there for a little bit. Go ahead.
No problem. Yeah, so cello vibes is for the cello pan, and it's an instrument that isn't always isn't written for as a solo instrument frequently. So so that piece I really love, and I actually just created a new piece for cello pan, which is called Lore Nupi, and it's written for my wife. Her name is Lorena Nunez Pineda, and she's originally from Panama. So that's sort of her nickname, Lore Nupi. And so I always wanted to write another piece for the cello pan. So this is my humble undertaking.
So have you recorded it yet? Is it something that we can have during this show?
It's a great question. I have recorded it, and I'm coming out with a new recording, hopefully in the spring. So it will be available. And actually, I think I posted it to YouTube a few months ago. So you should be able to find it there.
Okay. I need to let y'all know, my listeners, that is, this man is a challenge to get on this show. I mean, a major challenge because his schedule is so tight. So this show, of course, is pre-recorded, just in case you haven't figured that one out. But again, it's such a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show, not just because you're a South boy, you know, it's because when one takes the time to read up on your accomplishments, you're phenomenal.
Okay. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be on the program as well. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I hope this won't be the only time. I hope you can get you back another time when we could do it live. When you hear the words, the most versatile and accomplished pan musician in the world today, what thoughts and emotions do they evoke?
Well, if I can be 100% honest with you, you know, those are things that other people may have said about me. I don't necessarily take it to heart. For me, I'm a perpetual student. You know, I'm constantly growing. I always appreciate, you know, accolades. It's better than the opposite side of the spectrum, you know. But I don't really put a lot of stock into a lot of these, you know, terms. But what I do try to do is to be as versatile as possible. I've said in past interviews that people can think about me almost like a nosy musical neighbor. I'm up in your business whether you like it or not, right? In some ways, and I've been thinking about this over the past few years, you know, as I've gotten older, the lessons that I've learned growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, and more specifically within the context of the pan yard. There were many things that I took for granted until I became an adult and I realized, wait a minute, I wasn't only taught musical lessons, but life lessons as well. And so one of the things that I truly treasure about the pan yard is just how welcoming we are to people of all walks of life, but also in terms of the repertoire that we play. It's very eclectic. So, you know, you could walk into, and it's probably the same now, any pan yard, and in their repertoire list, you would have calypso music, you would have soca, you'd have reggae, but you'd also have that next to classical music and jazz standards, you know, and those were life lessons in and of itself, you know, and it stayed with me. It's part of my DNA. So at any given point, you will see me performing with a steel band or with a symphony orchestra or with a jazz combo. And for me, it's just about bringing people together and promoting the versatility and the beauty of this instrument that we love so much.
Okay, so let me switch gears just a little bit. Let's get a little history of you coming into the steel pan orchestra, using that term, and the different bands you would have played with. So I know skiffle is a major part of that because you're from South originally, right?
Correct.
Specifically where? San Fernando proper or something else?
San Fernando.
San Fernando. So just give us a little history of the different pan sides I went into that, dialect, pan size that you would have played
No, that's fine.
and your time with them.
Sure. So, my first flirtation, so to speak, with the steel pan was actually at a Cub Scout meeting. My father, the late Russell Teague, he had a Cub Scout troop called First Coffee Boys. And one of the members, his name is Darren Shepherd, who is now the arranger and manager of the Fun Player Steel Orchestra. So he was a member of that Cub Scout troop, and he played, I believe it was a pair of double tenors for us. And I just fell in love with the sound. And right then, I begged my father to, get me steel pan lessons. And so he took me to the T and Tech Motown steel band. And so that was the first steel band that I played in for a number of years. I eventually transitioned to the Hillside Symphony. And at the time, when I was, I think, 15 years old, I held the record for the youngest arranger for Panorama, which I believe was broken by Atiba Williams, young prodigy. And then in the early 1990s, it's when I moved to the USA to study music at Northern Illinois University. During that period, from then till now, I've arranged for a number of steel bands, including the Skiffle Bunch, as they were called back then, now Skiffle, Starlift Steel Orchestra, and for a number of years for the Silver Star Steel Orchestra, and also Harvard Harps. So those are the main bands that I've worked with as an arranger and a performer.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I vaguely remember your dad. And but I didn't know that I was about to say I didn't know you started that young, but that would have been a stupid statement to make because I mean, with a father like that, of course. What are your memories of your dad, by the way?
Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, there are many things about my life, my early life in Trinidad that I took for granted. And one of them being just how much my mentors played a role in my life. My father probably being strongest of those. So he, anybody that you speak to would tell you that he was always with me, no matter where I performed, and just so encouraging. And it's really because of him that I fell in love initially with classical music. So my father, again, Russell Teague, he was not a musician, but he loved classical music. And so he would have introduced me to different recordings of, classical music virtuosos, like virtuoso pianists, virtuoso violinists. And so early on, probably around the age of 12 or 13, in my head, I saw myself one day being a soloist with a symphony orchestra, but through the medium of the steel pan. The steel pan would be the main instrument, solo instrument. So it's all of these things that he introduced to me. And at the time, I didn't understand the profundity of what he was doing. Now that I'm older, I truly, truly appreciate it. And the fact that, he spent so much time with me, which I try to do with my children. And that's one of the reasons why it's been so hard for me to come onto your program, because usually on the weekends, it's really, really family time.
About them. I understand. That's a good segue into my next, some of what you said, there's a good segue into my next question which is, at what point or stage of your professional career did you decide that your fate as a professional steel panist was going to be different from that of others?
I don't think there was any one point. If I'm being totally honest with you, I never thought, at least initially, about music being a profession. Perhaps I was a bit naive in that respect. Music was just something that I absolutely love. And over time, people started paying me to perform, or to create music. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, I think I have something here, But I've always been a very, very curious person. And as I said, with this instrument, we from the Caribbean, we understand the beauty and the versatility of it. But I think the world at large, they're still coming to terms with that. And so for me, I'm just one of the ambassadors of this instrument that's trying to highlight the different musical possibilities. And I do feel that in life, it's very, very important to tell your story, be true to yourself. And for me, again, it's exploring all these musical territories and getting into these circuits. For example, I I have a duo with one of my colleagues here at Northern Illinois University. Her name is Professor Faye Seaman. She's professor of harp. So we have a duo called Pangelic, you know. And you know, many people would not think that the steel pan and the harp would blend well together, you know. But we've formed this group a few years ago, and people absolutely love what we do. And the thing about it is, I'm taking the instrument into audiences that perhaps would not be that curious about the steel pan. And so now we're turning them on to this instrument, and vice versa, you know. She's performing her harp for steel pan lovers, you know, and like, oh, wow, this is magic that we have here, you know. So for me, it's all about breaking down barriers.
Breaking down barriers, yes. Now, when you say breaking down barriers, I'm thinking, you know, okay, but why is it so difficult in our home country of Trinidad and Tobago to break down the barrier of how important the steel pan is to the culture at large? And when I say, whenever I think steel pan, I also think calypso.
Yeah.
All right. So why is that particular barrier something that is still there? Because again, in doing a lot of research last night to put this thing together, steel pan studies at your university, Northern Illinois University. And I have a couple questions regarding that. I did some research. I looked at University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, or like we say here in the United States, St. Augustine. There's no steel pan studies. I mean, there are programs relating to, of course, music, and you may have some segments that would refer to the steel pan, but nothing that actually says steel pan studies.
Well, so what we do at Northern Illinois University, students come here to actually get degrees in music, bachelor's and master's degrees in music, but with a specific emphasis on the steel pan. And so that also exists at the University of the West Indies and at the University of Trinidad and Tobago at the bachelor's level. And as a matter of fact, we've had quite a number of their graduates come to NIU to pursue master's degrees. So it's happening.
Hold on. So you're saying, but it's happening on the bachelor's level. It's not happening on the master's or PhD level.
Not quite yet. And I don't think there's any university in the world that offers steel pan studies degrees on the PhD level. Not yet. Okay,
but I know you're being really nice and all of that, and I appreciate that. My job is to straddle the fence, and in straddling the fence, I'm gonna back it up a bit. I took this out of Steel Pan in Education, which I'm going to purchase today.
Okay.
Because it looks like it's going to be a really good read. This fascinating history of the NIU Steel Band traces the evolution of the program and engages with broader issues relating to the development of steel band and the world music ensembles in the American university system. In addition to investigating its past, Steel Pan in Education looks to the future of the NIU Steel Band, exploring how it attracts and trains new generations of elite musicians who continue to push the boundaries of the steel band. Again, this is happening in a university here in the United States. It's not happening in Mona. It's not happening in St. Augustine. It's not happening in Cave Hill. It's happening here, Northern Illinois University.
Well,
why is that?
Again, and this is one of the things that, first of all, I'm very cautious when I make comments about what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago in that I lived there since I was 19. However, because I've had so many students from Trinidad and Tobago, I do have my finger on the pulse of much of what's going on. And, there's so many positive things happening in Trinidad and Tobago, yes, on the university level and beyond that, but it does not necessarily receive the press that it deserves. And so I don't think it's totally correct to say that these types of things are not happening in Trinidad and Tobago, because again, you look at the University of the West Indies, University of Trinidad and Tobago, and they're doing amazing things. Right now, 3 or 4 of my master's students are graduates of those programs, and they're wonderful musicians. So we need to give credit where credit is due. And unfortunately, and I've been interviewed many times about this, and unfortunately, a lot of folks may not necessarily be aware of what's happening, And again, even within the context of the Panyard, you take somebody like Dr. Mia Gormandy Benjamin, who is now the musical director of the Trinidad All-Stars Steel Orchestra, and what she's doing with their youth program, what she's doing at University of Trinidad and Tobago, Cian Gomez, a graduate of NIU. Many people are doing great things, but they don't necessarily get the press that they deserve.
And that's the point here. The point is there are many people doing phenomenal things. Mia Gormandy, we had her on the show some years ago, before she finished her studies here in the United States and went back to Trinidad. And she is one, you're another one, the same young man, Cian, even Atiba. We're looking at, there's so many, and it's like, even in the area of Calypso, where one of the things that we've tried to do on this show is we've had Lord Nelson, we've had Lord Realtor, we've had Mr. Ron Berridge before he passed. And the whole idea is to try and help people connect the dots to what we have as a culture.
Yes.
In that, I am also nosy because I want to be all up in people's business, but with regards to the culture, because I feel it's so important. When I think about the culture, I have this vibe that is going inside of me that I can't really explain.
Yeah.
And it sometimes it hurts me to see that on the government level or on certain levels where these people can be appreciated daily for what they do.
Yeah.
I get upset. So sometimes I come across a little bit.
It's very, very understandable because I feel the same way, and truth be told, we take our own for granted very much. And I don't know if there's any one way to solve this challenge, but I do think that one way to go is with education. For example, both of my children,
how old are they, by the way?
So my son, Jaden, he's 14, and my daughter, Jada, she's 9, going on 30. You know how that goes. But neither of them were born in Trinidad and Tobago. But my wife, Lorena, who's from Panama, as I mentioned, we're constantly educating them about their roots, Panamanian roots, Trinidad and Tobago roots. And so they know about Lord Kitchener, they know about Mashel, they know about Bungie, they know about Chutney, right? And I believe in early immersion. We've started them from very, very young. My son plays this, both my kids play the steel pan. My son is also a pianist and a drummer. And so it's constantly educating them about where they come from, and to treasure this. I remember years ago, the great Anthony Williams, who passed recently, went from, in my mind and many people's minds, the greatest genius in the steel band world with respect to the totality of what he brought to this art form. He came into the Panyard and most of the musicians in there had no idea who he was. So that's akin to, I suppose, Michael Jordan walking into, where they're playing basketball and people not knowing who he is. And so, again, this comes with education, and it can happen within the context of the Panyard. We can have pictures, we can have various stories, we can have the folks who are in leadership position educating their players so that they celebrate what's come before, but they also celebrate what they are doing and understand the profundity of what they're doing, But it's not an easy sell, and but I'm an optimist, and I believe for the most part in using honey as opposed to vinegar, because most of us know what the challenges are, but are we doing anything about it? You certainly are, especially with this program that you have here. You're educating people. Okay. So you mentioned Lord Relator, Lord Nelson. I've seen it with my own students that have come from the Caribbean. Very, very gifted. talented musicians, but most of them right now are in their 20s. And I've been playing music for them, calypso, soca, you know, from maybe the 80s, the 70s. And many of them have never heard these pieces, you know. Oh. And so that says something to me. Now, do I just complain about it? No. My goal is to educate them. And now they know, and then they pass it on to future generations, you know. And I think that can go a long way.
How are you able to balance being a teacher or an educator, a performer, a father, a husband? How are you able to balance all those roles and not be pulling your hair out at the end of the day?
Oh, I do that all the time. It's just that as far as we know, we have one life to live, and there's so much that I want to accomplish.
So we know that it's a really interesting interview with Mr. Liam Teague, but guess what? If you're enjoying it that much, then you'll be okay joining us on another show for part 2, because it's a really long interview, but very substantial, very interesting. Liam is an interesting young man. Okay, but we gotta go. Why? Because we gotta jump on another show that I just remembered. We're joining Lady D and Mr. Golding on their show to talk about our memories growing up in the Caribbean for Christmas. So Kevorkian back here will have to give it from a Brooklyn perspective, because he grew up in Brooklyn.
I grew up in both. I have a.
So he'll give a balance.
I have a balance.
I left Trinidad and Tobago when I was 23 or something like that, you know. But anyhow, we've got to go. We want to wish each and every one of you a Merry, 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 Merry Christmas. We want to thank our guests over 2022. We had a long list of them. Thank you to each and every one of you for saying yes to being part of the People's Chat Room. And I'd like to thank DJ Kevorkian and DJ Code Red and the other 2 DJs that we have as part of the portfolio that you don't really see a whole lot of, which would be Professor GT and DJ Militia. But they're in the background doing them, all right? Yeah, they're still a part of the team, you just don't see them as much. We want to thank all the DJs on iTunes Radio, and thank you, Mike iTunes, for, you know, allowing me to be part of the team. I appreciate that. I want to thank all the DJs on Soca Passion TX. Thank you for having us as part of your crew. And of course, on islandbeachradio.net. We will not have a show next week, which would be New Year's Eve, but we will return the first Saturday of January, and that is when you're going to see and hear the part 2 of our interview with Mr. Liam Teague, professor from Northern Illinois University. In the meantime, we gotta go. Thank you, Kyle Noel. Thank you, Chuck Gordon. Thanks, Phyllis. Thanks, Kevin.
Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner. This is not the end. We time coming back again. It's so much my heart to take. I feel like I'm born again. Freedom at last. Raise your glass. Oh, you can't live in the past. So look for where madness, David Rudder sail. Look for where shirt on any people place. Look for where real girl and it's only ways. Look for where by the end they go put me name in the Hall of Fame. Soca Hall of Fame. In the Hall of Fame. Why? It's the culture we defend. Hall of Fame. Soca Hall of Fame. In the Hall of Fame. When it comes to party, the spirit have me under it. I don't want no limit. When I come, this is no visit. Every place we look to conquer it. Hey, give me a rhythm tap. I want to get high like Superman.
I don't know, boy. Something about live music that is just, oh my goodness. Hear that drum now?
Yes.
We gotta go. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Don't worry, lover. I know you're missing it.